You know that light that you're seeking for and sometimes desperately wanting into your life? That light that you think is at the end of the tunnel that'll make your life better from all the darkness? Well, guess what? Sometimes what we don't actually realize is that light is also creating a lot of our problems.
I adore you.
How so, you may ask? Well, think about it. Contrast. It's showing you and illuminating the shadows in your life. Because without that light, there would only be darkness. And if there's only darkness, it's neutral. You'd be used to it. Like Stockholm syndrome. I think that's the thing for it, right? Where you're just so used to the abuse and it's just a natural thing. It's neutral. It's like that's all you know. So that light is the other end of all that. All the things that are joy, bliss, happiness, excitement, comfortability, love. The things that you'd prefer to experience, right? So it's funny how that contrasting event works, is the light is actually the source of the problems. So what do you do with that? Well, great. I'm Ventzi. I'm your divine feminine empowerment and spiritual awakening coach. And I'm going to assist you with that in this video. Let's get it. So that's right. It's contrast. It's just coming to the realization that it's not just the darkness that's causing all your problems. It's the light. So in the same sense, a lot of the times your reality is a reflection of your inner reality. The things you're willing to tolerate. The toxic, abusive, maybe narcissistic type relationships you keep attracting. It's all a reflection from within. The attachments you're holding on to of wanting a perfect relationship or perfect this and that, that's all self-sabotage, perfectionism. A lot of the times is we don't look at the shadows within us. And this is why they call it inner work. That's why they call it shadow work. Because they hurt. That shame, that guilt, that pain, sadness. Sometimes when we look back at it, it hurts. And those things grow in the dark. All that shit grows in the dark. The more you let it sit and harbor there, the bigger it gets. The more the universe will keep reflecting to you what's in your vibration that's running on an engine, and it may be subconscious. So how do we break free from that? And it's not shit. Like I said, it was like shit, all that shit, right? It's not what it is. It's a beautiful experience we get to have, contrast. So when you can change the meaning to it and show gratitude that the contrast is showing you the light, because without the light, we'll never really know what real love is like. And that's why this channel is love and light. There is more, sayings about love and light. However, my perception of it is love the light. Because that light is going to illuminate the shadows. So that way, in return, you can start loving and showing gratitude because of it. Now you can choose what you prefer in your reality. So when you're getting an inner reflection of your outer reality, of the places and things that are running on an engine in your vibration, right? The things that are in the subconscious mind, the way you break free from that is, a lot of people think you got to go down this like crazy healing journey and do all this work and stuff. Kinda. Yeah, the more knowledgeable you are, the real thing is just adding awareness. Adding awareness and realizing that this was in the past. It happened. It's not happening. And you can show gratitude for it because now you've learned. And once you've learned from it, knowing like, hey, was I able to set healthy boundaries in the past? I mean, me personally, no. Right? So if you can learn and start looking up online how to set healthy boundaries, what's the verbiage, even use Chat GPT. You can literally type in anything there and it'll literally assist you. Chat GPT is amazing. So the thing is adding awareness and learning, how can I step into the light? How can I set, and there's levels to everything, right? Setting a boundary isn't just like, oh no, freaking stop, like you suck, I need to get rid of you if you don't listen. It's like, you can do it in a healthy, loving way. You can set boundaries in a healthy, loving way and get creative with it. That's the whole point of all this. That's why it's new levels. Same freaking devils. Boop. That's what life is. You're going to be experiencing essentially the same things in a spiral as it's expanding. And it's just going to get, the levels just get harder. But like, let's say this is boundary setting right here, right? Okay, well now you just experienced a boundary setting event. And then, you're experiencing the rest of your life. And then, oh, look, now it's coming right back. How are you going to set boundaries this time? Did you do a little more inner work? Did you do some homework and look up online how to better yourself and express your feelings vulnerably without the fear of the outcome of the boundary? Like, all you can ever express to people is, I feel this way when you do this. Could you cease to stop this behavior? Like, can we find a level ground? And if they're not willing, guess what? They no longer are here to serve you. Because maybe what they were here to serve you for was to show you how to set healthy boundaries. So the better you get at doing that, the easier your life gets. And the more fun it is. Because, just like when you're in kindergarten learning the alphabet and then learning how to put sentences together, it was probably really difficult. I'm pretty sure now you can do it like a piece of cake. And sometimes it's even fun to do it. To even write an email or an exciting thing, or maybe you're texting that passionate lover of yours, somebody who can match my freak type messages. I know, match your nasty. I got it. And that's fun, right? So you can make things fun. Just wherever you are in this present moment is perfect for where you are. And as you keep experiencing more contrast, the more you're going to be able to expand. So you add awareness to the pain, to the suffering, and you look within, because that's all past you. That's all inner you. That's all inner child. Even if it was just a year ago, or maybe, let's say you're like 50 right now, you were 49 when it happened. In a way, that was a child version of you. You didn't know better in some aspects, right? The thing about children is they just don't know better. And you can't be upset with yourself, and you can't harbor too much like dislike or hate towards another person, or what's the word for it? It's a really good word for it. Resentment. And the thing about setting boundaries is the sooner you can figure that out, the less resentment you'll hold towards a person, because the longer you wait to learn how to express yourself vulnerably without fear of the outcome, because you genuinely care, the more resentment you will build on. And on top of that, you're denying someone the opportunity to grow and grow with you. Because maybe the relationship does end, romantic or non-romantic. Maybe it's time for you to part ways because you're just at different levels. However, if you don't present your boundary, you'll never give the person an opportunity to grow. Could you imagine denying people education? It probably happens in other places. My point is, though, like, I think in America, like, it's a thing. Like, you have to have education, right? Could you imagine denying people the life that they deserve, and you got to make that decision for them? Sometimes the best thing you can do is set a healthy boundary, and if it doesn't work out, let them go gracefully. Sometimes it takes losing someone to realize that person themselves has to make a change. That's why all breakups usually involve like this healing journey and process, and then eventually you shift and you become better and you understand like what more you want in a relationship due to the contrasting event. It never makes anything right, whatever anybody's ever done to you, whether if it's bad or good. It's everybody's at the level of consciousness that they're at when you're with them. Like that's the highest level of consciousness that they're at. Again, it doesn't make anything right. It just makes things easier to forgive. You can give things a new meaning. Because you can stay in the suffering of the pain and cry to your friends and boo-hoo, I dated a narcissist, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what's the bright side of that? What did you gain? What's the light showing you? What did you gain from that relationship? How much did you improve? Do you ever celebrate that? Celebrate your wins? Because guess what? Going through that toxic relationship is a win in its own. Like, had you known you were going to sign up for it, right? It's like, hey, if I go in this relationship, I'm going to evolve in ways I can't even imagine. I'm going to expand. In fact, the outcome of this is I get to share it with others to help them through their journey. Except you get to choose, do I want to go through this relationship knowing it's going to suck, it's going to burn, it's going to hurt, and it may suck after a year of dating them because I'll be figuring myself out and putting the pieces back together. Would you still jump into that relationship? Like if you got to choose that you're going to expand, would you still want to jump into that negative relationship? What's the alternative? Well, guess what? You signed up here to be on Earth, and there's certain things you wanted to experience, so you're going to experience them regardless. Because if you don't experience it with someone, you're going to experience it with someone else. Because if you don't learn how to set proper boundaries, find out what you're tolerating, what you tolerated as a child, maybe mom and dad weren't available for you emotionally or physically or financially or all, for whatever reasons, and now you're seeking it outside of yourself, thinking maybe this person will think I'm worthy and they'll stick around, and mom and dad won't have to work so much because I'm worthy of them skipping work for me. Maybe mom and dad had to work. I mean, my mom and dad did, and I was left alone at home a lot. So I'm very used to being alone. Right? And I did have a worthiness wound for a long time. I did seek it, and I became a people pleaser. And people pleasing is a way of manipulating others to get your validation and approval met, your needs met. And through people pleasing, I gave up and sacrificed myself and my needs. I abandoned myself just as much as maybe mom or dad abandoned me in the process. So what did I do to my inner child? I just repeated the same shadowy event. So when you shine light on these areas, yeah, it hurts to look back. Like, I remember one day I had this like realization. It was like after a party or something, and like I was coming back home. It was like 10 a.m. and I was driving home, and like I was just like super emotional, and like I think I had like a conversation or some realizations that had happened, and then like I called my mom and I started like I tried to like talk to her, but like I just started crying and bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, where were you? Like, I didn't have my mom growing up. I mean, yeah, I guess she was there, right? Except she worked a lot. Like, she worked a lot. So she's a banquet server. She makes pretty good money. However, like, she'd be working, breakfast, lunch, and dinners, like full 3 shifts in a row. Sometimes I wouldn't see her for a whole day, and she'd come back home at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And then I realized, after a while, like, because my dad became abusive towards me as I like started aging more, around like I think like 6, 7, or 8, and it just kind of continued. And she wasn't home, and the whole time I thought my mom knew about it. Like I thought like they communicated or they just knew. Like I had no freaking clue, right? I was young, and I thought my mom was like knew this is acceptable, but when I told her eventually after I started like realizing the stuff and opening it up, she had no idea that this was happening. Right? So in a way, like I felt abandoned by my mom because she had no idea, but the realization came that like, oh man, she really didn't have an idea. I get to change the meaning. Like it's not everybody's fault. right? And the real question is do I want to keep tolerating and experiencing abandonment? Do I want to keep sacrificing my needs for others because I want people to stay in my life? No. So I started choosing myself, and the people that were around me, from me being a people pleaser, they liked that fake version of me. Guess what? I became a problem for them. They could not benefit from me the way they were used to benefiting from me, like helping them around their house or yard or whatever, whenever they asked, right? When I started saying no, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't want friends like that. I want friends that do this and that. And then I realized, oh shit, here's some narcissistic people trying to get me to fall back into playing this small role of people pleasing. And it's like, I don't really want your validation and approval anymore. Right? So they dissolved very quickly as I started looking within and doing the shadow work. Realizing what areas of my life am I portraying and is being reflected to me? What am I willing to tolerate? And where am I abandoning and sacrificing myself in the process? All relationships now, I have reached a point where I understand it's incremental adjustment to each other. And sometimes your butthole may feel like super clenched and tight, trying to set a boundary. Except you're going to feel 20 times better, that relief. You know, like a bowel movement you've been holding in. All right, we're getting a little funny here. Either way, though, you're going to feel so much relief once you set that boundary. And you'll be so proud of yourself and celebrate it. So just like that unhealthy relationship, you got to celebrate those because it allowed you to expand consciously. And if you're consciously expanding, that's a win. You're always winning. There are no mistakes in life. There's only contrast, and you get to choose, grow, and expand. Nothing is a mistake. Everything, you know, they say, oh, everything has a reason that it happened. It does. And you get to add the meaning of the reason of it. And you get to choose, like, you get to be person A or B. Person A, actually, it's same people, both get let go, right? These are two different variations. Person A and person B are the same person. Both, you know, they get let go from work, and person A is like, oh yeah, life sucks. Now I have to find another job. Life sucks. Starts looking, you know, going back into that cycle, finding another sucky job and hating their life and going through depression. They don't feel worthy because they couldn't have that job, right? Person B is like, hey, it's okay. It didn't work out. Maybe I will find another job. That's not an issue. And maybe I don't want to go back to working for someone else. Maybe I'll start a business. I'll create a product or a service. Maybe now this is my opportunity to expand. Maybe they're going to get on unemployment and take advantage of trying to create something more special for themselves rather than having shame of living on unemployment while they stay highly motivated. So once you release that kind of shame around like money, you can choose to be highly motivated. I ended up having a divine storm last year. A whole bunch of things started collapsing, people, places, and things. And then I ended up getting a concussion. And then I couldn't take so much time off of work, so I got let go. I got put on unemployment because I had no choice. And through that, I decided, well, I don't know if I want to work for a corporate or anybody else ever again. I want to start shining light and doing this. So imagine if I held my shame around money and I didn't go into the trenches and release this shame to start making videos like this. Imagine if you didn't get to see this video, and if you watched this far in, you're on a self-help journey, and I'm so happy to assist you on your journey. And please let me know in the comments below how I helped you. I love reading comments. So, you know, if you don't walk through the fire of even shame of like around money and what people are going to think of you, like, okay, you'll never get to actually shine your light in the world, in this universe. One verse in a song, in this beautiful song, you get to sing your music. In whatever way that may be, it'll be a vibration of some kind. Everything's just vibrating at a really, nothing's really actually still. Like this has atoms like vibrating like super fast. Well, they're really slowed down, I guess, to make the physical object of the microphone. You get my point though? Otherwise you'll die with your music inside you. So start living more free. Stop having fear. Stop sitting in that trauma. Start transcending the trauma and show gratitude. From fear to freedom, from trauma to transcendence, and all this fog you have, start living in clarity once you have all these realizations. As long as you can just put awareness onto the place that hurt you and you're able to just look at it without getting attached to the emotion, you're not attached, you're able to engage with that memory and just feel neutral and actually choose the vibration, which is a higher one, which is gratitude. Thank you for this experience. Thank you, everyone that's ever treated me bad, because now I know what I deserve in my life. And not only do I don't just expect what I deserve. I know how to set boundaries and I know how to communicate what I deserve and what I want without shame of my needs. So what does this create for me? Freedom, transcendence, and clarity. And that's what I'm here to help you with. All right. So I hope you had a coffee with me. I didn't get to invite you on a beverage you drink with me on this session, did I? Nope. That's okay. I hope you had something. Much love. I challenge you to start looking within and don't look too hard. Just add awareness and start moving forward in your life. Start expanding and realizing your contrasting events, that light, without it, you would be only in the darkness. And the only way to get to the light is to know what you want in your life and show gratitude for the contrast.
I adore you.
Then you can shift your reality. So have a wonderful, magnificent, transformative, alchemizing day, beautiful cosmic soul. Love and light vibration now. Bye.